Hi there, this is Marty from owingsart.com. That's OWINGSART.com. And today I'm going to demonstrate drawing an animal, and I'm using a photographic reference here that I took recently in the Badlands of North American bison, or what's more popularly known as a buffalo. And what I'm going to do here is use a number of materials. This is just regular old sketch paper and a sketchbook, and I'm going to use this pencil, this TK 9400 lead holder by Faber-Castell with an HB lead in it, and I'm going to lightly outline this animal from the photographic reference here, and we'll go through this a little quicker here, but you can see I'm not concerned about detail right here. I'm just kind of lightly outlining what I see in the photograph and just making sure that I get the perspectives and measurements of the animal correctly. So what you can do is you can hold your pencil up and kind of gauge the distance between what I'll call significant landmarks on the buffalo, like the horn and the tail and the legs or whatever, and you can sort of measure things out. Then I'm using a water brush here, and I'm using some Schmenke German watercolor paints to get the background in, and he's in a grassy field, so but it's this light grass. It's just spring. It's not green yet, so he's kind of lying there. And then I'm going to use this burnt umber, and I'm going to mix that with a little bit of black to get the dark color around this buffalo's head. And this won't be the first coat of paint or the last coat of paint on the buffalo, just a first. And so you see I'm intentionally leaving some of the other places blank as I kind of fill in the fur here. And I'm doing that because I'm going to go back later and add more detail in those areas, like his eyes and nose and the horn. I'll get to that. But you can see how I'm spreading out the watercolor here. The buffalo is definitely lighter towards his back and the back legs and that. And you see I added the darker color for his eye there and his nose. And there's a little bit of reflected light off of the snout here. And so I've added that in as well. So it's just little details you have to look for and pay attention to. But what's neat about watercolors is you can go back, and if you don't like what you see here, you can reconstitute it later. Now here, just by adding some water. Now here, what I'm going to do is add a little ink. I also like to ink my drawings, so I'll do that. And you can see here, I'm going to use this Uniball Signa white gel pen, and for the grass that's going across the buffalo's body, you can kind of see this lighter color works a lot better than if I tried to use a dark or maybe a yellow that matches the grass exactly. So that's just what I'm doing here. And in a minute here, I'm going to have to go back and fill in the darker part of the buffalo, and I kind of wish I'd have done that before I started coloring in all this grass detail, because I'm going to actually get rid of some of that detail, and you'll see that in a minute here. But just getting the detail and the reflected parts of light, like in his eye there, and just kind of observationally paying attention to which way the grass is going and things like that. So this gel pen comes in pretty handy for drawing that. So once I get the buffalo just about where I want it to be in terms of composition and look and all that stuff, the next thing I'm going to do is add some lettering in here. So I found this Western font on the internet. It looked pretty cool to me, so I thought, all right, I'm going to take a stab at making this font. So what I did first is I lightly penciled it in, and you want to do that because especially complex fonts are really tricky, and it's nice to pencil it in because then you can correct some of the mistakes if they're minor with the ink, and so you'll get a second opportunity at it, and you'll find once you've penciled it in, you're kind of better at the lettering the second time through with the ink. The other thing is with the ink, you don't want to make a mistake, because if you do, it's going to be pretty tough to correct that mistake in ink. But whereas pencil, you can erase it and start over. So even though this has got some imperfections in it, I kind of like the way the lettering came out. And it adds, I think it just adds something to the picture when you can accentuate the lettering a little bit and describe what people are looking at. So yeah, so the inking part, A little tricky, but worthwhile. And see here, what I'm doing is just go ahead and correct some of those mistakes. Like if the M was too short, I added a little weight on the bottom with a thicker line, and yeah, it worked out okay. It's the last bit, just adding just a little more definition around the legs, and there you can see I've added some of the black paint into the black and blue into the bottom to kind of give that gravity or weight or center to the buffalo. All right, well, thanks for stopping by and checking out the video, and hope you get some time to practice your drawing as well, and hopefully this has been helpful. Well, if it was helpful, don't forget to leave a thumbs up. Comments and questions are always welcome. I love to respond to those and hear what people have to say and hear your thoughts as well. And if you haven't done so already, please subscribe to the channel. All right, for owingsart.com, this has been Marty. So long, everybody.